We're joined by Brennan Banks of the Panther men's lacrosse team. Brennan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
What's your major at Florida Tech and why did you choose it? Is it something that you've always wanted to do?
My major is in ocean engineering, and yes, it's definitely something I've always wanted to do. I've always been really interested in the environmental sciences, and I've always seen it as a way that I can use my education to give back and help out people and communities. And when I first started looking at Florida Tech for lacrosse, I did a lot of research into ocean engineering, and I was really drawn into the coastal sciences field.
So when you were doing your research about the coastal sciences here at Florida Tech, what else about the school stood out to you that made you want to come here?
Definitely the unique opportunity to study engineering and play lacrosse at a competitive level. The location is also really great for my major and what I'm interested in studying for coastal engineering.
How do you plan to use your degree after graduation?
Hopefully I will go on to become a professional engineer, and I plan on working on projects like beach restoration and port and harbor design and coastal policy as well.
What are some of the exciting projects you've been able to work on in your classes here?
So my favorite project that I've worked on so far was last summer. My classmates and I completed our senior ocean engineering design project and presented it at the Ocean Engineering and Marine Science Department Summer Symposium. My team and I completed our project on a wave generator for Florida Tech's newly constructed 85-foot long wave tank. And this project was really rewarding. I learned a lot about the design process, and it was really cool to see the final product and have something physical that we could show to our classmates and our professors and family and friends. And I got to work on it with some really close friends as well, which was really fun, including some fellow Florida Tech student athletes, including Ben Comeda on the men's rowing team and Caroline McLeod on the women's lacrosse team, which definitely helped the teamwork part of the project, which is always really important for any successful project.
And what would you say was your favorite part of all that?
My favorite part of the project was our 4-day research cruise down to Fort Jefferson and Key West. This cruise was really fun. We got to go on it with my team, and we learned how to use a bunch of oceanographic instruments, and we used them to map the seafloor and search for shipwrecks, which was really cool to see with your own eyes. It was a really great experience because using these instruments, which adds a lot of value, to your resume and your skill sets. And, this is stuff that you really can only learn by, gaining open water experience.
You're the president of SAAC here at Florida Tech for the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. What would you consider to be the biggest responsibilities of that position?
I think the biggest responsibility of being the president of SAAC is trying to actively promote our image around campus and to the community. We all have really busy schedules, and we're all super understanding of that, but whenever we have our meetings, they're always very productive, and it's very rewarding to see the final outcomes of our community events or social media campaigns.
You talked about having such busy schedules, and you're about to start lacrosse season. How do you manage everything between your classes, your responsibilities, and your team once you get into season? How do you make that work?
It can definitely be very challenging, especially when we get into our traveling part of the season. But I wouldn't be able to commit myself to all these things if I wasn't passionate about them. And not to mention my coaches and professors, who've always been very understanding and very willing to work with me in my schedule.
So how has being a college athlete prepared you for what you're doing now, and what do you think you've taken from lacrosse that applies to your studies?
I think the biggest skill that I've learned from lacrosse and have been able to apply in the classroom is really the teamwork aspect of things, and being able to lead your team through the chaos. It's pretty rare that you'll have a practice or a game go completely your way, and being able to navigate through that is a really important skill to have.
What advice would you give to an athlete that's looking to come to Florida Tech that might also want to get into ocean engineering?
I think my biggest piece of advice would definitely be to get involved outside of just the classroom. There's a lot of opportunities out there that will really help you, gain your fundamental skills as an engineer. And, I think a great place to start would just be sitting down and having a conversation with your professors and, exploring your career interests and another great place to start would be with the Society of Ocean Engineers too. They've been really helpful for me.
Panther Lacrosse begins the 2022 season next weekend. You being one of the team captains, how are you feeling about the team going in?
I feel great. We had a really successful fall season. Despite some obstacles and hardships, we've all stayed really focused on our academics, and we put in a lot of work to prepare for the spring. So I'm really proud of the guys and all the hard work they've put in. The roster this year looks incredibly different than it did last year, but it's pretty amazing to see how close of a group we've become in such a short amount of time. And I know we're all really focused and excited for the season and our first home opener against Rollins.
We can't wait to see what you do both on and off the field next. Brennan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.